At 5 a.m., two realities exist. In one high-rise window, an executive sits in quiet focus, mapping out the week before the sun rises. Down on the street below, a night shift worker drags their feet toward the bus stop, completely drained and desperate for sleep. Thomas is 32, working as a warehouse security guard. He puts in grueling hours, sweating through the night, to earn a paycheck that evaporates the moment rent is due. All of his effort is spent on survival, leaving nothing left for progress. This clock visualization shows his mechanical trap. Thomas works from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m., sleeping through peak economic hours. Waking in the late afternoon, he watches neighbors return from office jobs. His personal timeline spins backward, while the global economy grinding forward without him. Thomas isn't failing because he is lazy. He is pouring maximum physical and mental energy into a structurally broken routine that yields no momentum. Raw hard work without strategic leverage is a trap. Without a mechanism to build value, effort simply keeps you exactly where you are. The numbness of this routine shatters on a cold November morning as Thomas steps off his shift. He receives a devastating phone call. His mother has collapsed and is tightly gripping a hospital bedsheet in their rural hometown. Standing by her bed, he looks at her calloused hands. She had labored her entire life in poverty. She pulls him close and begs him to find a way out, to break a generational cycle of exhaustion that ends with nothing. Simply enduring his current reality is no longer an option. He can't just work harder at the warehouse. The underlying machinery of his schedule has to be completely rebuilt. Taking a 6 a.m. bus back to the city, Thomas sits across from Mr. Chun, a successful regional executive. The contrast between them is stark. Thomas is entirely depleted, his brain shutting down. Mr. D a.m. proactively designing his day. After hearing about Thomas's night shifts, Mr. Chun diagnoses the structural flaw. Thomas is sleeping when the economy is producing, and performing manual labor when the economy is resting. Mr. Chun points to the window between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. In this window, the phone doesn't ring and the world hasn't started demanding your attention. It is a quiet vacuum where systems and wealth are constructed before the daily noise begins. Time is an active resource, and Thomas has been systematically misallocating his most valuable blocks of it. To fix this, Mr. Chun hands Thomas a mathematical blueprint called time arbitrage. The plan is to extract just 2 uninterrupted hours from the day, every day, and use them exclusively for intentional development. 2 hours a day equals 14 hours a week. Over a year, those blocks compound into 730 hours. Divide 730 hours by an 8-hour workday, yielding 91 extra days. This habit manufactures 3 hidden months of productive time. The rule for the first hour is pure focus on acquiring a marketable skill. For Thomas, that means shutting off his phone and studying corporate accounting and Excel logic online. The second hour is dedicated to physical maintenance and strategy. 30 minutes of exercise to force blood flow, followed by 30 minutes of planning the day ahead. This shift creates a mathematical advantage. By buying back these quiet, undervalued hours, Thomas can convert them into a competitive edge that previously didn't exist in his schedule. Executing this plan in week 1 is painful. At 5 a.m., Thomas's eyes burn and his muscles ache. This biological resistance is the necessary friction of rewriting a deeply ingrained habit. The turning point arrives at day 21. Biological adaptation takes over. Thomas wakes up 2 minutes before the alarm even sounds, his new system finally overriding the old cycle of exhaustion. By day 87, the daily friction yields a result. Thomas leverages his newly acquired Excel skills to build a tracking system that solves a persistent inventory bottleneck on his warehouse floor. Moving from the warehouse floor to the office requires surviving this initial friction. The compound benefits materialize for those who outlast the biological urge to quit. The efficiency of Thomas's tracking system saves the warehouse thousands in lost inventory. This specific success leads to a formal offer from the finance department, a daytime role with a salary that reflects his new technical skill set. 1 year later, Thomas has reached a new reality. He is stable, His career is growing, and he has moved his mother into a city apartment where she receives the medical care she needs. Despite having escaped the trap, his alarm still rings at 5 a.m. He continues to use the quiet dark to study and refine his skills. Discipline and precise time management serve as the foundation of Thomas's new reality. These habits stay with him long after the immediate crisis has passed, becoming the engine for his continued growth. At 5